They say a man's home is his castle. They're wrong. The house is a compromise. It's a shared territory, a negotiated peace treaty between you and your partner, written in a language of throw pillows, area rugs, and a color palette called agreeable grudge. The house is where you whisper, "This is fine," as you walk past the decorative bowl of pine cones that's been on the coffee table since 2019. The garage is the castle. My garage is my sanctuary, my workshop, my cathedral of creation. And I, Michael, am its resident high priest, and it is Saturday, which means it's time to worship. The air is thick with the holy incense of motor oil, sawdust, and the sharp, metallic tang of ozone from my welder. The garage door is wide open, spilling glorious judgmental sunlight onto my project. It's a beautiful 70-degree day, and I am in the zone. My workbench isn't messy, as some lesser minds might describe it. It's an active landscape. It's a topographical map of my genius. Here, a mountain range of socket wrenches. There, a river valley of zip ties and electrical tape. In the center, the fertile plains of, well, a lot of bolts I forgot what they go to. I'm mid-weld on my masterpiece. I call her Heron Imus. She's a 6-foot-tall sculpture of a great blue heron constructed entirely from discarded mufflers for the long, graceful neck and body, and spark plugs for the feathery, jagged wingtips. It's sublime. It's art. It's probably not done, but it's close. Zap, crackle. I lift my welding mask, wiping a bead of sweat from my forehead. And that's when I see her. Karen Blevins. She's marching down the sidewalk, clipboard in hand. She's the HOA president, which, in our neighborhood, the Evergreens. A name that's a lie, by the way. It's mostly just decorative maples, is a title that carries the same weight and implied authority as a 4-star general. She's walking a small, white, fluffy poodle named Baron. The dog looks as perpetually offended and judgmental as she does. She stops. Right on the sidewalk, dead center in front of my garage. She's not looking at me. She's looking at my workbench. She's looking at Heron Imus. Her eyes narrow, her lips purse into a perfect beige-colored knot. And then she does it. Tisk. It's not a loud sound, but it's an aggressive sound. It's the kind of sound that travels 50 feet, penetrates my shop-deafened ears, and lands right in my spine. It's a tisk that says, "How dare you exist in a way I have not pre-approved?" She scribbles violently on her clipboard. I'm a friendly guy. I'm a neighbor. So I raise my heavy welding glove in a wave. "Morning, Karen. Beautiful day for a walk." She does not wave back. She gives me a slow, deliberate head turn, a look that could curdle milk, and then continues her march, the poodle trotting in perfect tiny tyrant lockstep. I shrug and lower my mask. That's fine, I mutter to myself, sparking the welder again. I don't need your validation. My heron sculpture doesn't need your validation. Zip crackle. But the tisk lingers. It's Monday. Monday is trash day. Mail day, and apparently the day my soul was scheduled for an audit. I walk to the mailbox, still optimistic, still riding the high of getting Heron Imus to stand on her own 2 rebar legs. I flip through the junk mail, a coupon for a large pizza, buy one get one, an ad for a gutter cleaning service. And then I feel it, the beige envelope. It's thick, it's cardstock. It has that official, humorless, the Evergreens Homeowners Association logo in the corner. Nothing good has ever, in the history of humankind, come in a beige HOA envelope. I walk inside, holding it like it's a dead rat. Jen, my wife, is in the kitchen, emptying the dishwasher. "We got HOA mail," I say. My voice sounds hollow. Jen winces, not even turning around. "Oh God, what is it now? Is the grass half an inch too tall? Did I leave the recycling bin out for 31 minutes past the 6 p.m. deadline?" "It feels heavier than a grass violation," I say, slitting the envelope with a butter knife. I pull out the letter. It's on the same heavy beige cardstock. It feels like it was printed on disapproval. I scan the text. My eyes catch on a few choice words. Violation. Bylaw. Cure. Worse, I say, my voice dropping. It's a courtesy notice of violation. Bylaw 4.2. Unsightly household conditions and visual pollution. Jen finally turns, wiping her hands on a dish towel. For what? What visual pollution? The house is beige, the trim is beige, the sky is beige half the time. What could possibly— "My garage," I whisper. My messy garage." I read it aloud, my voice cracking with indignant fury. "During a routine neighborhood inspection, our president noted excessive detritus and debris clearly visible from the street. This constitutes a visual pollution and a failure to maintain community aesthetic standards." Jen covers her mouth. "Detritus? She called your stuff detritus?" "She called Heron Imus detritus," I practically shout. "And that's not the worst part. Look." I point to the bottom of the page. "A fine of $200, failure to cure within 14 days will result in a doubling of the fine." I sit down hard on one of the kitchen stools. $200 for creating, for having projects. Jen reads the letter over my shoulder. "This is because you had the door open, isn't it? She's fining you for an open door." "Visual pollution," I say, standing up and starting to pace. "My heron sculpture is art. It's culture. It's recycled metal. I'm practically a hero. This isn't a fine, Jen. This is an attack. A direct attack on my soul. And messy? It's an active workspace. You don't tell Picasso to tidy up in the middle of Guernica." Jen just sighs. "Michael, you're comparing a muffler bird to Picasso." "It's the principle," I say, waving the beige letter, "and I'm not paying it. I am a reasonable man. A man of logic. A man who believes that if you just talk to people, you can solve anything. This is why I find myself, on Tuesday at 4:30 p.m., standing on Karen Blevins' taupe-colored doormat. I'm here for her official HOA office hours. Which is just her, in her living room, on a laptop, ignoring you. I ring the bell. The Baron yaps from inside. I hear a sharp, "Hush, Baron!" and the door opens. "Michael," she says. Not, "Hi, Michael," or "Hello," just Michael. Like I'm an item on an unpleasant agenda. "Karen, hi. Thanks for seeing me," I say, trying to deploy my friendly, harmless neighbor smile. "Look, about this fine, I think there's been a misunderstanding." She just stares at me. Her living room is immaculate. Beige carpet, beige walls, beige sofa. The only splash of color is a framed photo of a beige-colored lighthouse. It smells like potpourri and quiet rage. "Misunderstanding?" she repeats. The word sounds foreign in her mouth. "Yes, my garage. It's not messy. It's in process. I'm a builder, a creator. It's a workshop. You wouldn't fine a baker for having flour on the counter, right? I chuckle. My chuckle dies in the beige, sound-absorbing air. Karen does not chuckle. She does not smile. She looks at her watch. "Michael," she says, in a tone one might use for a very stupid child. "The bylaws are clear. Bylaw 4.2. I have it right here." She taps her clipboard, which is apparently now a permanent appendage. "Your detritus," she stresses the word, "was visible from the street. We had complaints." My eye twitches. Complaints? Plural? Or a complaint? From you? "Karen, my door was open for a few hours. It's my garage." This, it turns out, was the wrong thing to say. Her spine, which I assumed was already made of titanium, stiffens even more. "It is a privilege to live in the Evergreens, Michael, not a right." My God, she actually said it. "Your garage," she continues, "and its contents reflect on all of us. No one wants to see that. It lowers property values. It's unneighborly. And frankly, it's an eyesore." I'm sputtering. An eyesore? Heronymus? She's majestic." "It's a pile of junk, Michael. You have 13 days. Pay the fine, clean it up, and I suggest you just keep the door closed." She smiles, a thin, tight, reptilian smile that doesn't reach her eyes. A smile of pure, unadulterated, bureaucratic victory. She closes the door in my face. I stand on her taupe doormat for a full 30 seconds, vibrating. The words echo in my head. Keep the door closed. Keep the door closed. Keep the door closed. "Oh, I'll keep the door closed," I whisper to her beige, soulless door. But she just gave me an idea. A terrible, beautiful, magnificent, and breathtakingly expensive idea. I spend the next 2 days in a state of profound garage-based sulking. I'm out. There. But my heart's not in it. I just look at things. I sit on my shop stool, staring at Heronymus. She stares back with her dead, spark plug eyes. "She called you detritus," I tell the heron. "She called you a pile of junk." The heron, to her credit, says nothing. But I can feel her silent, metallic judgment. I have failed her. I have let our sanctuary be defiled. Jen brings me a beer on Wednesday night. She navigates the landscape and pulls up another stool. "Honey," she says in that gentle, "I'm about to talk you off a ledge" voice. It's just $200. I know it's stupid. I know she's a nightmare. But just move the heron. Put some stuff in boxes. We'll pay the $200. It's not worth fighting." I take a long, slow drink of my beer. "It's not the money, Jen," I say for the 10th time. "It's the principle. It's the injustice." I stand up and start to pace, my footsteps echoing in the large, cavernous space. "She wants me to be ashamed," I say, gesturing to my workbench. "She wants me to feel bad about this." I point to a perfectly good alternator I'm planning to turn into a table lamp. "She wants me to feel bad about my process." I stop at the front of the garage, right at the dividing line between my concrete castle and the HOA-approved driveway. I stare at the inside of the garage door. It's just a door. A standard, 16-foot, windowless, beige, insulated, sectional garage door. It's the most boring, uninspired, oppressive slab of beige in a neighborhood that specializes in them. "She told me to keep the door closed," I say, my voice low. I tap the door. It makes a dull, hollow thud. "She wants it hidden," I muse, staring at the beige panels. She doesn't want to see it. I tap the door again. Thud. Thud. So, if I keep the door closed... I trail off. My mind is starting to race. The gears rusty from 2 days of sulking, but now they're catching. They're grinding. They're moving. What's the opposite of a beige, windowless, opaque door? What's the opposite of hidden? What's the most in your face? I'm not ashamed. I'm being fully transparent, Karen. Move I can possibly make. What if, I say, turning to Jen. My sulk is evaporating, replaced by a feeling I can only describe as a kind of manic, glorious, petty inspiration. What if I gave her no choice but to see it? Jen frowns. What do you mean? Like, paint a mural on it? She'd have an aneurysm and fine us into oblivion. No, I say, a slow, maniacal grin spreading across my face. Not on the door itself. I start sketching in the air with my finger. I'll keep it closed, just like she said. I'll be a model citizen. But the door, I look at Jen. She's watching me, concerned. Jen, how do you feel about glass? Glass? She says. Like putting a window in it? One of those little plastic ones. No, Jen, I say, my grin widening. Not a window. All window. Every square inch. Floor to ceiling. Wall to wall. Her eyes go wide. Michael, no! You're not talking about, like, a storefront. I'm talking about a full-view, anodized aluminum, commercial-grade, clear-tempered glass garage door, I say, the words tasting like sweet, sweet victory. I'm talking about an Apple Store-style garage door. I'm talking about turning this whole garage into a goddamn aquarium for my junk. Jen is speechless. She just stares at me. A display case, I continue, now fully feverish with the idea. For my process, for Herren Immis, for every single bolt. I'll keep the door closed, just like she asked, and she'll be able to see everything, every day, every night. I'll even add spotlights. Jen is silent for a full 10 seconds. Then she starts to laugh. Not a little chuckle. A deep, real, oh my God, you're an idiot and I love it laugh. Michael, she says, wiping a tear from her eye, that is the most expensive, most ridiculous, most gloriously petty thing I have ever heard in my entire life. She takes a sip of her beer. So, where do we even buy a thing like that? My heart swells. I have no idea, I say, pulling my phone from my pocket. But I'm about to find out. The next 48 hours are a blur of manic research. I'm a man possessed. I'm on Google, I'm on a dozen different forums, I'm on commercial architectural supply websites. My search history is a beautiful poem. Full glass garage door, residential. Commercial glass roll-up door. Apple Store garage door. Can I buy one? How much does a 16-foot glass garage door cost? Oh God, why is it so expensive? Black anodized aluminum full-view garage door. Hipster brewery door for my house. The prices are staggering. This is not a $200 fine. This is a 5-figure screw you. But I am too far gone. The principle is priceless. Once I have the terminology down, I start making the calls. This is where the real fun begins. I set up a command center at my workbench, a notepad, and a fresh beer at the ready. Call 1. Bill's Doors and More. Me. Hello, I'd like to get a quote on a new garage door. Bill. Gruff. Sounds like he's been smoking since 1950. All right. Standard 16 by 7, insulated? Me. Yes, 16 by 7. But I'm looking for a full-view, clear glass panel door, anodized aluminum frame, probably in black. Bill. Long, long pause. I hear what sounds like him taking a drag of a cigarette. You mean with the little square windows at the top? Me. No, Bill. I mean, all glass, floor to ceiling, every panel, like a fishbowl. Bill. Another pause. This for a residence? Me. Yes, sir. Right here in the Evergreens. Bill. A dry, wheezing cough that turns into a laugh. The Evergreens? You mean Karen Blevins' little slice of beige hell? Son, she'll have you drawn and quartered. Me. That's sort of the idea, Bill. Bill. I admire the gumption, kid, I really do. But I ain't touching that job. My tools would melt. Good luck. Click call 2. Suburban Garage Solutions. Me. Hi, I'm looking for a quote on a 16-foot, full-view, commercial-style glass door. Woman. Incredibly cheerful. Oh, wonderful. For one of those new barn dominiums? Me. No, for my garage, in a suburban tract home. Woman. Cheerfulness falters. Oh, I see. Well, our full-view doors are, well, they're quite a statement, sir. Are you sure? We have some lovely faux wood carriage house-style doors that are very popular. Me. No, I don't want popular. I want transparent. I want to be able to see the mailman's soul as he walks by. Woman. Nervous laugh. I don't think we carry that, sir. Click call 3. A1 Affordable Doors. Me. I skip the preamble. I need a price on a 16 by 7, full-view, clear-tempered glass door, black aluminum frame, installed. Guy. Yeah, we can get that. It's a special order. Gonna take 8-10 weeks. You in a new build? Me. No, existing home. In the Evergreens. Guy. HOA? Me. Yep. Guy. You got the approval form? Me. I'm working on that. I'm just getting a quote first. Guy. Sighs. Look, buddy, don't waste my time. You come to me after you get the stamp. Those guys, they're nuts. They once fined my cousin 'cause his welcome mat was too whimsical. Call me if you get the paper, but I'm not driving out there for a what if. Click. I'm starting to get discouraged. I'm on my 3rd beer. My notepad is empty. Is my dream dead? I try one last number. The website looked sleek, professional. Dynamic Door Solutions. It sounds expensive. Call 4. Dynamic Door Solutions. A crisp, professional voice answers. Dynamic Door Solutions. This is Dave. Me. I go for it. I sound as professional as I can. Good afternoon, Dave. I'm in the market for a 16 by 7, model 8800 full-view door. I'm looking at a black anodized aluminum frame with 1/4 inch clear tempered glass panels. I'll also need a high-lift track conversion and a new side mount opener to maximize the aesthetic. Dave. Silence. But a respectful silence. A this guy knows his doors silence. All right, sir. That's a serious door. You're talking our commercial line. This for a new restaurant? One of them hipster breweries? Me. Exactly like that, I say, my confidence swelling. For my garage, in the Evergreens. Dave. A long, low whistle crackles over the phone. The Evergreens? With that HOA? You're a brave man, buddy. I gotta see this. This I gotta see. Me. So you'll come out? Dave. Hell yes, I'll come out. I'm sending my best guy, Gus. He loves creative jobs. How's tomorrow at 10? Me. Tomorrow at 10 is perfect. I hang up the phone. I am electric. I raise my beer bottle to Heron Emus. We got him, girl, I say. We're sending in Gus. The next morning, at 9:58 a.m., a truck pulls up. It's not a rusty pickup. It's a massive, gleaming black Ford F-350 with, dynamic door solutions lettered on the side in a sharp, modern font. A man hops out. This must be Gus. Gus is not what I expected. He's not a grizzled Bill. He's a craftsman. He's maybe 50, built like a vending machine, with a graying beard, a clean-pressed company polo, and a tool belt that looks like it cost more than my car. He's wearing wraparound Oakley sunglasses. He doesn't just walk to my door, he strides. I open the side door to the garage and he steps inside, his eyes immediately scanning the space. He looks at the track system. He looks at the headroom. He looks at the side clearance. He's a pro. Then his eyes land on Heron Emus. He stops. He takes off his sunglasses. Whoa, he says, his voice a gravelly baritone. Is that a heron made of mufflers? I'm immediately on the defensive. It's my process. Gus walks over to it. He doesn't sneer. He inspects it. He taps one of the spark plug wings. Huh. Nice welds. You use MIG or TIG on this? MIG, I say, stunned. It's all I've got. The neck was a real pain. It's an exhaust pipe from an '89 Camry. Gus nods, a slow, appreciative nod. He looks at the heron. He looks at my workbench. He looks at the beige, windowless door. And then, a slow, magnificent grin spreads across his face. I get it, he says. Get what? I get this, he says, gesturing to the whole garage. The process. He walks back to the front and slaps the beige door. Thud. And that's why you want the 8800. Exactly, I say. Gus's grin gets wider. Your HOA president. She a Karen? Her name is Karen. Literally, I say. Gus lets out a booming laugh, a real, genuine belly laugh that echoes off the concrete. Buddy, he says, clapping me on the shoulder so hard I nearly buckle. I'm in. We're doing this. We are going to build you the most beautiful, most pristine, most in-your-face door this neighborhood has ever seen. He pulls out a high-tech tablet and starts tapping. Okay, she's going to fight you on this, so we got to be smart. What do you mean? I ask. You can't just ask for a glass garage door. You got to use the magic words. She's going to hit you with community aesthetic and property values. You got to hit her back. Hit her with what? Gus taps his tablet. This isn't a garage door. It's a modern architectural carriage house upgrade. See? Magic words. And the black anodized aluminum frame. It perfectly matches and complements the existing black shutters and light fixtures. My God, I say. It does. They're both black. Exactly, Gus says. And the full-view glass? That's not a window. That's a natural light solution to reduce daytime energy consumption. You're not being petty. You're being green. I am in awe. This man is not a contractor. He is a poet. He is a general. So, I say, what's the damage? Gus winces just a little. He turns the tablet around. The number on the screen makes my stomach do a flip. It is a lot. It's a new motorcycle amount of money. It's a down payment on a small car amount of money. Gus sees my face. Look, he says, that's the full freight. That's the 1/4 inch tempered glass, the high-end frame, The side mount jackshaft opener. That's the silent one. And the high lift track, so it sits right up by the ceiling. That's the whole screw you package. I look at the number. I think about Karen's smug, beige, lighthouse-having face. I think about her saying detritus. I think about her little smile as she said, "Keep the door closed." I take a deep breath. "Gus," I say, pulling out my credit card. "You take a deposit?" "That's a $10,000 screw you, Michael," Gus says, his grin returning. "You sure you're good for it?" "Gus," I reply, "it's the best money I've ever spent. When can you start?" "Plans to the HOA first," he says, tapping his tablet. "We're going to do this by the book. We'll submit the architectural harmony plans. Once her own committee signs off on it, she's trapped. They'll sign it. They're just a bunch of rubber stampers who won't even read what it is. It's going to be beautiful." "Gus, you're a poet," I say. "No, Michael," he says, turning to leave. "I'm a doorman, and I'm about to open one for you, right into the future. I've never loved another man more in my life." It took 2 weeks, 2 agonizing weeks for Gus's architectural harmony plans to wind their way through the HOA's Architectural Review Committee, which is just Karen's retired accountant neighbor, Stan, who signs whatever she tells him to. Just as Gus predicted, we got the approval email. RE, Application 227B, Window and Shutter Harmony Upgrade, approved. Gus called me the second he got the email. "The Eagle has landed," he said. "The glass is ordered. It's a 6-week lead time. Be strong, Michael. Winter is coming." 6 weeks. I paid the original $200 fine, just to keep the peace. Karen gave me a smug nod at the mailbox. "Glad you saw reason, Michael," she said. "You too, Karen," I replied. "You too." Installation Day 1. The Gaping Maw. The day arrives. It's a glorious Tuesday in late October. Gus's Dynamic Door Solutions truck rolls up, along with a massive flatbed. Gus is here, along with a team of 2 other guys who look like they install doors on missile silos for a living. With shocking, beautiful precision, they dismantle my old, beige, oppressive door. In less than an hour, it's a sad pile of panels on my driveway. My garage is now open, a gaping 16x7 hole in the front of my house. "All right," Gus says, "frame up day." They spend the rest of the day installing the new tracks, the heavy-duty black aluminum frame, the springs, and the silent side-mount motor. It's meticulous work. Around 3 p.m., Karen Blevins makes her first pass by. She's on her daily poodle walk. She sees the truck. She sees the pile of beige panels on my driveway. She sees the empty hole where my door used to be. And she smiles. She nods smugly. She thinks I'm cleaning. She thinks I'm taking her keep it closed advice and just not having a door at all? Or maybe she thinks I'm putting in a new HOA-approved beige door. She thinks she's won. "Afternoon, Karen," I yell, waving from the lawn, holding a lemonade. She gives me a tight, victorious little wave and continues on. "Oh, you just wait," I whisper to myself. "You just wait, you beige-loving monster." At 5 p.m., Gus and his team clean up. They board up the opening with a sheet of heavy-duty branded plywood. "See you tomorrow, Michael," Gus says. "Tomorrow's the fun part. It's Glass Day." Installation Day 2. Glass Day. I don't sleep. How can I? Glass Day is better than Christmas. At 8 a.m., the trucks return. And this time, they've brought the pièce de résistance. A separate truck, with a massive glass panel carrier on the side. The panels are huge. They are shimmering, beautiful, crystal-clear panes of glorious 1/4-inch spite. Gus and his team get to work. It's like watching a ballet. They have these giant industrial suction cup handles. They lift the first 16-foot wide, 2-foot tall panel. They slide it into the frame. Click. They install the second panel. Click. By 10 a.m., the bottom half of the door is in. It's already magnificent. The light pouring into my garage, it's divine. It's like a holy light. Herren Immus is glowing. And that's when Karen makes her pass by. She's in her car this time. A beige Lexus, of course. She's driving by, slowly. And I see the exact moment her brain processes what it's seeing. It's not plywood. It's not a beige door. It's glass. Her car stops in the middle of the street. Just stops. A car behind her honks. She doesn't notice. Her jaw is on the floor. I am not speaking metaphorically. I am 50 feet away, and I can see her mandible unhinge. She jerks the car into park. I hear the screech of the transmission, and she storms out. The poodle, Baron, is in the passenger seat, yapping his stupid head off. But she's forgotten him. She is marching up my driveway. She is vibrating with rage. She is sputtering. What is that?" she screams. She's pointing at the door. Gus, ever the professional, steps in front of her. "Ma'am, for safety, I need you to stay off the driveway. We're operating heavy equipment." "That's not a door," she shrieks, her voice cracking. "That's a window. That's a storefront. You can't put a storefront on this house. It's a violation." I choose this exact moment to pop out of the side door, holding a fresh tray of lemonades for the crew. "Oh, hi, Karen," I son with a cheerfulness that is 100% pure, unadulterated Ted venom. "Isn't it a beauty? It's our window and shutter harmony upgrade. Gus and his team are doing such a great job." She turns to me. Her face is a color I've never seen in nature. A deep, blotchy, puce vermilion. This, I did not approve this." "Oh, but you did," I say, pulling the printed-out email from my back pocket. "Well, Stan did. Application 22-7B. Approved. See?" I hold it out for her. She looks at the paper. She looks at the glass. She looks at Gus. Gus just smiles. "It's architecturally harmonious, ma'am. See? The black aluminum perfectly matches the, He looks around. "The shutters. Bylaw 9.4. Karen can't form words. She just sputters. "You will be fined," she finally manages to shriek. "For what?" I ask, genuinely curious. "An approved upgrade? Or for having too much natural light? I'm just being green, Karen. Reducing my daytime energy consumption. It's in the application." She just stands there, her hands clenched into tiny, white-knuckled fists. The car behind her lays on the horn, a long, angry blat. Karen makes a sound like a deflating balloon, spins on her heel, storms back to her car, and peels out, her tires chirping on the asphalt. Gus looks at me. I look at Gus. I think she's upset," I say. "Yep," Gus says, picking up his suction cup handle. "All right, boys, let's get the top panels on. We're burning daylight." By 4 p.m., it's done. It's magnificent. It's more than I dreamed. It's a solid 16 by 7-foot wall of pure, crystalline, unapologetic glass. Gus hands me the remote. "Go on, buddy. Do the honors." I press the button. The silent side-mount motor whirs to life. And the door, it glides. Silently. Upwards. It sections and it disappears. It goes up the high-lift track and parks itself above the opening, near the ceiling. It's not a door anymore. It's a vanishing wall. "My God, Gus," I whisper. "It's an aquarium for your junk, kid," he says, clapping me on the shoulder. "Go get 'em." The door is installed. Gus and his team are gone. The sun is setting. I stand in the driveway, just admiring. The garage is clean, for now, but the potential. Jen pulls into the driveway, her car lights sweeping across the new glass. She gets out of her car and just stares. "My God," she says, her voice full of awe. It's beautiful. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It looks like a high-end car dealership." "Doesn't it?" I say, my voice thick with emotion. "But Michael," she says, "you do realize—" "She was right. We can see everything. Your process is really visible. That pile of 2x4s in the corner, the heron." I put my arm around her. "Oh, honey," I say, "you think I'm just going to leave it as is? Oh no, this isn't a mess anymore. This is an exhibit." For the next 2 hours, Jen doesn't see me. She just hears activity. I'm not tidying up. I am curating. First, I get my shop vac. I clean the floor. I mean, really clean it. It's a showroom now. Second, I take every tool, every wrench, every screwdriver, and I hang it on the pegboard. But not just hang. I arrange it. I do it by size, by function. I create a wall of potential. It's beautiful. Third, the workbench. I clear it off. I wipe it down, and then I place, in the exact center, the alternator lamp project. It's no longer a project. It's a work in progress. Fourth, and most important, Heron Immis. She can't just stand there. This is her debut. I have a rotating platform I built last year for I'm not proud of this, a 360-degree view Christmas tree stand. It's got a low-torque motor. I bolt Heron Immis to the platform. I place the platform in the center of the garage. I plug it in. The heron slowly begins to turn. It's majestic. It's art. "Jen," I yell, "bring me that old armchair from the basement, the red one, and the reading lamp." An hour later, it is complete. The garage is pristine. Heron Immis rotates slowly in the center. My tools are a museum exhibit. My workbench is a statement. And in the corner, I have a cozy, comfortable, bright red armchair and a small mini fridge I borrowed from the media room. It's 8 p.m. It's dark out. "One last thing," I say. I go to my toolbox. I pull out 2 high-powered clamp-on work lights. I clamp one to the garage door track, pointing down at Heron Immis. A spotlight. I clamp the other to a shelf, pointing at the wall of potential. I flick them on. The garage is illuminated. It's a stage. It's a gallery. It's a 24-hour, one-man art exhibit. Jen is standing in the doorway from the kitchen, her hand over her mouth. "My God, Michael," she whispers. You've turned the garage into a 24-hour art exhibit titled Portrait of a Man Who Hates His HOA. I'm calling it the transparency of process, I say, popping open a beer from the mini-fridge and sinking into the armchair. I grab a car magazine. And I'm sitting in it. The glass is so clear. It's like there's no wall at all. I am a man in a diorama. And then the gallery opening begins. A car drives by. Slowly, it stops. It reverses. It stops again. I see two silhouettes. They're pointing. I sip my beer and turn a page. Another car. This one slows down. The driver rolls down the window. It's basketball hoop guy. The guy who got fined for having an unapproved NBA regulation backboard. He looks at the glass. He looks at me in the chair. He looks at the rotating heron. He gives me a slow, respectful nod and a massive thumbs up. I raise my beer to him. Solidarity. Within 30 minutes, it's a parade. People are driving by my house. Slowly. Some are laughing. Some are horrified. A few, the other malcontents, the wrong shade of trim lady, the garden gnome guy, they're all giving me the thumbs up. I am not just a man in a garage. I am a symbol. I am the leader of the visually polluted revolution. It's 9:03 p.m. I'm deep in an article about valve timing. The heron completes its 500th rotation. Life is good. And then, I see them. Flashing lights, red and blue. A police cruiser pulls up to the curb. It doesn't pull into the driveway, just sits at the end, its lights painting my gallery in strobes of red and blue. I feel Jen's hand on my shoulder. Michael. Cops. I see him, I say. I'm not worried. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting. Two officers get out. They're not running. They're ambling. They look tired. They look like this is the last call they wanted to take. One of them adjusts his belt. The other one shines his flashlight at the door, then at the heron. Then at me. I sigh. I put down my magazine. I'm a good citizen. Sir, one of them calls out. His voice is muffled by the glass. Can you open the door? I pick up the remote. I press the button. Whoosh. The silent motor whirs. The glass wall vanishes upwards, revealing me in my armchair, next to my rotating muffler bird. Evening, officers, I say pleasantly. Trouble? Officer 1, let's call him Officer Tired, looks at Officer 2, Officer Baffled. Officer Tired sighs. It's a sigh that contains all the world's suburban misery. Sir, Officer Tired says, we got a call about a public disturbance. A disturbance? I say, looking around my pristine, well-lit garage. Seems pretty undisturbed in here. Officer Baffled speaks up. He's younger. He's clearly trying not to laugh. Sir, the call was for a strange man exhibiting his junk. My blood runs cold for a second. Junk? And then I get it. I look at Heron Emus. I look at my found object art alternator lamp. I look at my 1968 Mustang, which is under a car cover in the back of the garage. Exhibiting my junk? I say, standing up. Officer, this is a rotating sculpture. It's found object art. And that's a 1968 Mustang. It is not junk. It's a classic. Officer Baffled barks out a laugh. He turns it into a cough. Right, sir, right. Art. Got it. Officer Tired pinches the bridge of his nose. Sir, look, your neighbor, a Miss Karen Blevins? I know her, I say. Yeah, figured, he says. She's called us. Twice. In the last hour. She says you're indecently exposed. I'm wearing pants, I say, pointing to my perfectly respectable cargo shorts. And a t-shirt and shoes. I am decently exposed. I'm in my own garage. And creating a visual nuisance, he finishes, his voice deadpan. Officer, I say, is it illegal to have a glass door? Is it illegal to sit in my own garage? Is it illegal to weld? Officer Tired looks at Officer Baffled. Baffled just shrugs. No, sir, Officer Tired says. It is not illegal. To sit or to have that, he gestures to the heron. But you gotta admit, Officer Baffled chimes in, it's a look. It's really bright. Can't you, I don't know, put up a curtain? I am ready for this. A curtain? I say, horrified. Officer, on a sectional garage door? That would be a massive fire. Hazard. The fabric could get caught in the track mechanism. Not to mention the NFPA 701 violations. And besides, I have nothing to hide. I'm a transparent citizen. I'm just making stuff up. But it sounds official. Officer Tired. He cracks. A small smile plays on his lips. He looks at Officer Baffled. All right, sir, Officer Tired says, putting his flashlight away. Looks like there's no junk or disturbance here. You have a good night. And, he looks at the heron, which has just completed another full, majestic rotation. Nice, heron. They turn and walk back to their cruiser, their shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter. I hear one of them say, "A visual nuisance. I'll show her a visual nuisance." They get in their car and drive off. Karen is furious. I can't see her, but I can feel it. The air in the neighborhood is thick with her rage. I look at Jen, who has been watching the whole thing from the kitchen door, dying of laughter. I press the remote. The glass wall whooshes back down, sealing me back inside my glorious, well-lit, and now police-approved gallery. I pick up my magazine. I take a sip of beer. Checkmate. The email blast goes out on Thursday. Subject: Urgent, emergency HOA meeting. Must attend. It's for Friday night. In the community cabana. The topic is neighborhood aesthetics and bylaw enforcement. She's going nuclear, I tell Jen. We're going, right? She asks. Oh, we're going, I say. I'm bringing popcorn, she says, in my purse. Friday night, the cabana is packed. I've never seen this many people. Usually these meetings are just Karen, Stan the accountant, and one other sad sack who's there to complain about dog poop. Tonight? Everybody's here. Basketball hoop guy is in the back. Garden gnome guy is in the front row. Wrong shade of trim lady is here, and she's brought a friend. There's a palpable energy. It's not just a meeting, it's a showdown. Karen is at the front by the sad, empty snack table. She looks wired. Her hands are shaking. She's got a stack of papers. Thank you for coming, she says, her voice a tight, high-pitched squeak. We have a serious situation. As you know, our community is under attack. She's really going for it. An attack, she says, on our property values. She glares right at me. I'm in the back row next to Jen, who is, I swear to God, discreetly eating popcorn out of her handbag. Karen holds up a new, freshly printed sheaf of papers. Therefore, I am proposing an emergency addendum to our bylaws. Bylaw 12.8. on opaque garage doors. It's very simple. All residential garage doors must be 100% opaque, made of wood, metal, or fiberglass. No glass. A murmur goes through the crowd. She's just inventing a rule. This is a flagrant violation, she continues, pointing at me. It's a storefront. It's a nuisance. He's exhibiting. Exhibiting what? Basketball hoop guy yells. His awesome car? I like it. At least it's not beige. Order, Karen shrieks. This is not a... I am trying to protect you. I raise my hand. Slowly. Karen's eyes narrow. What, Michael? Yeah, just a question, I say, in a calm, reasonable voice. Point of order. You can't just invent a bylaw, can you? I mean, doesn't it have to be voted on by, all of us? And even if it did pass, which it won't, you can't make it retroactive. My door is, well, it's already installed. It was not approved, Karen screams. It was a trick. Actually, ma'am, it was. A new voice, a deep, gravelly voice, from the back of the cabana. The crowd parts. It's Gus. He's here. He's wearing his Dynamic Door Solutions polo. He's holding his tablet. Gus? I whisper. He winks at me. Karen looks like she's seen a ghost. Who are you? I'm Gus, from Dynamic Door Solutions. We installed the door, and we did submit the plans, ma'am, as a window and shutter harmony upgrade. Your architectural review committee signed off on it. Stan? Karen says, wheeling on her accountant neighbor. Stan suddenly finds his shoes fascinating. Got the email right here, Gus says, holding up his tablet, the approved email shining like the Holy Grail. Signed, dated. We followed every bylaw, to the letter. The door is 100% code compliant and 100% HOA approved. The room is dead silent. You can hear the hum of the pool filter outside. Karen is purple. She's opening and closing her mouth, but no sound is coming out. She's a fish. A beige, rage-filled fish. And then, the dam breaks. And what about my basketball hoop? Basketball hoop guy yells. It's architecturally harmonious with my kids' happiness. And my gnomes, garden gnome guy stands up. They're sculptural additions, bylaw 6.1. Suddenly, everyone is talking. Wrong shade of trim lady is screaming about taupe versus eggshell. A guy I've never seen before is demanding to know why his wind chimes are a sonic nuisance, but Karen's poodle is just a dog. The meeting dissolves. It's a full-on revolution. It's not about my garage anymore. It's about her. Karen just stands there, her new bylaw pages fluttering to the floor. She is broken. Jen leans over. This is the best night of my life, she whispers, offering me some popcorn. I take a handful. It's delicious. It tastes like victory. It's been a month. The opaque door bylaw failed spectacularly. Karen is still HOA president, but the magic is gone. The fear is gone. Her office hours are empty. She's just a woman with a clipboard now. And a poodle. She doesn't make eye contact with me. She just walks barren on the other side of the street. It's a beautiful, silent truce. My glass door is still here. My garage is, well, it's not as curated as it was. It's a workshop again. But it's workshop that is bathed in glorious natural light. I'm out here, welding again. The door is closed. It's getting cold. But it's always open, in a way. I can see the neighborhood. I can see the kids riding their bikes. I can see the mailman. And he can see me. He waves now. Jen is sitting in the red armchair, reading a book. She's started liking it out here. She calls it the atrium. "You're an idiot, you know that?" she says, not looking up from her book. I know. A $10,000 idiot. A transparent idiot, I correct her, lifting my welding mask. She smiles. "Yeah, you are." I look over at Heron Imus. She's not rotating anymore. She's just standing there, guarding the process. "You know," Jen says, "I'm glad you did it, but just promise me one thing." "Anything, my love." "What are you going to do with that pile in the corner?" I look. In the back corner, stacked neatly, are the 8 beige insulated panels of my old, oppressive garage door. "Promise me," she says, "that you won't make a sculpture out of the old garage door." I look at the panels. I look at my welder. I look back at her. "Jen," I say, my face a perfect mask of innocence, "I would never do that." She knows I'm lying. I know I'm lying. And somewhere, deep down in her muffler and spark plug soul, I think Hieronymus knows it too. She's already looking a little lonely. I lower my welding mask, a new spark of inspiration hitting me. Process re-engaged.